Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to Animaking 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 11 of What If Naruto was neglected with a solo leveling system. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, guys, if you're new, I indeed have 4 more channels: Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime Symbol, and Anime Prince, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. All the links will be down in the description, so go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button, guys, and become a part of the Anime King family. I already posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Infected with an OP virus bloodline over on Anime Symbol, so go ahead, check it out, and enjoy. So without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last part that we left off. Now that Naruto was back in the village, Minato had spoken to the council about Naruto. However, they were all aware of just a brief example of what he was capable of. After all, he showed that by demolishing the hidden stone to a degree that they had to let him go rather than retaliate. That already showed the massive strength that he possessed. However, giving him a low rank would not be suitable because he was clearly above Jonin level, but they wanted to test him. Not to mention Minato was also agreeable to this, as this might help them achieve more, unknowing how exactly strong he was, and Minato would like to go toe to toe with Naruto, just to see his strength for his own point of view. As for Naruto, he went to visit Mikoto. She hugged him. When he was alone, Mikoto was there for him. He apologized for not telling her anything, for just leaving like that. He sincerely apologized. However, she told him that it's alright. She didn't like how he left, but it changed him. And he seemed to be doing good now. He was back with his family reunited. She told him about what happened after he left, and that her relationship with Kushina fell down. However, Naruto was baffled what she told him about his mother. He was shocked, surprised. He never expected to hear what he heard at all. He never knew that his leaving did so much on his mother. Yes, it was a truly shocking revelation. Given how Naruto was treated, he never put that in the situation, but after what Mikoto had told him, it actually made Naruto start to think more about the whole scenario as a whole and everything that he's went through. He met up with Itachi soon after, as the both of them walked through the streets. The female population was very active, seeing the both of them together. Their looks, yes, it was a very shocking sight to compare the both of them to say who was the better looking one. Both Naruto and Itachi spoke. After all, he knew where he was, but he's still been gone for some time now. As they talk about his return and talk about the village as a whole. Meanwhile that was going on, Kurenai went to get Uncle. As the both of them got to talk, Uncle was beyond grateful. After all, because of Naruto, the curse mark was gone. She was, finally, after all these years, she was free. And she wanted to meet this Naruto for the first time and thank him personally. While that was going on, Kabuto had taken the reins as the leader of the Land of Sound. Yes, he did not hesitate to move into the position as the one to rule, showing them that he was the one that will take over. They might be down at the moment, but they will be up once again. The Sound Four was still alive. Other members were still alive, and Kabuto was bringing all of them to him, so they would be under his control. It did not take too long after that for the match to finally begin. Many people were there. The clan heads were there as they wanted to establish the growth and also to see if this boy was actually stronger than his father. Minato had made quite the name to be the strongest shinobi in this time period, and everyone knew that. Even Jiraiya and Tsunade was there. Tsunade was placing her bet on Naruto. She just had a strong feeling that he was the one that's going to be coming out on top. Yes, there was no doubt in her mind about that. So she placed her bet on him. Naruto actually spoke to Minato in a jokey way, which made the man feel happy. As the both of them begin the match, they started out small, nothing too intense, as they were just attacking one another. Naruto had several powerful abilities that he did not use because those abilities will equal death, and his goal was not to kill Minato here. Menma was actually worried about that, given the both of their past digression. Was it a good idea for the both of them to fight? But they were, and there was nothing that he could do at the moment. The both of them clashed against each other until they decided to kick it up a notch. That was rather shocking to everyone, given that most of the Genins could not even see their speed. They were above normal as they were moving with such intensity. Naruto then covered himself in his shadow armor, a purple and black armor, as he took Minato on. Naruto was now faster and stronger than the man. However, Minato decided to pull out something that he was holding back, as Naruto was actually a bit surprised and intrigued to what he saw. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across and please check it out for yourself. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. So without further ado or wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. Everyone was surprised. Even Jiraiya. The man was speechless. They never saw this before. They could feel the immense pressure weighing down on all of them, even from their distance. The wind was behaving erratically, like it was under his control. His to bend, his to manipulate, his to do with as he pleased. This just confirms it. Minato was the strongest being alive. Minato was standing a few feet away from Naruto, and Naruto could feel the pressure. Minato had taken a drastic change. Surrounding his entire body was a white cloak. The raw manipulation of chakra and raw wind and wind chakra manipulated on the finest scale possible. No one in history has ever completed something like this before. His whole body was covered by it, like an armor. His feet, they were not touching the ground. He was levitating right above it. It wrapped around his body, concealing the clothing that he was wearing, making him look like the wind itself. Strangely enough, it was almost translucent, so that you could see right through him. The adaptation of this technique was truly beyond impressive. "What is this?" said Naruto. He was surprised by it. "I call this Wind God mode," he said. "Something I've been working on behind the scenes, to be ready for any external threat that might show up. I never thought I would be using this against you, but you've proven to be faster and stronger than I thought, said Minato. The wind danced around him. It surrounded him, his hair was pointed upwards. His eyes were glowing. Naruto was impressed. This match is over, said Minato. If you think I was fast before, well, wait until you see this. His words were still in the air, but somehow he transcended space between them and delivered a brutal punch in Naruto's gut. Naruto was caught off guard and shocked. He was blasted away. The Jonins were baffled. Jiraiya, who was on his feet, was baffled. Tsunade couldn't believe it. Just what the hell has that boy been cooking up, she thought to herself. This was why many believe that Minato is the strongest Hokage to ever live, despite there being Hoshirama Senju. Because of things like this, the man was not only a prodigy in Fuinjutsu, an art that many couldn't even use in this day and age, an art that could do so many. He was able to manipulate wind chakra down to a scale that seemingly does not or not supposed to exist. He became one with the wind. His words were still in the ear as he hit Naruto. Naruto slammed into the wall. Despite the far distance, Minato simply raised his hand. A pressurized ear fist slammed into Naruto's face, crashing his body into the wall even deeper. Naruto burst out of it, however, he was lifted in the air. He was then hit 23 times. Naruto was baffled as he could feel every single one of them, the impact, before he plummeted down to the ground with a tremendous boom, shaking the entire place. Naruto lied there as Minato knew that he could take it, and he wasn't going to insult his son by holding back that much. Dad really had this. It's amazing. Mito couldn't even fathom that amount of power, and she had the 9 tails inside of her. Menma now understand why people was always saying that he was going to be great as well if his father could do things like this. He was a Mokiton user, but his father was just so amazing. Kushina herself was baffled. She knew Minato was working on something, but she would have never thought that it was this. She didn't see how Naruto would be able to keep up with that, but this was good. They were fighting, and they were bonding. So yes, it was good. And that made her happy. As for Naruto, he was lying in a crater. Minato hovered over towards him. Not only had Minato improved the Hiraishin, where he could disappear in a radius, and given the amount of weapons that still lined the arena, Naruto was done. There was no chance he could win. However, he already showed the people that he was worthy of the Jonin title. He already showed that. You did well, said Minato. After all, Minato paused as Naruto started to laugh, confusing the people why he was laughing. Was it because he was having a good time, they wondered. Naruto slowly picked himself up. He was no longer surrounded by his armor. He was smiling though, happily so. He realized something. This was the first time his mind was not obsessively thinking about the past and feeling hurt and pain. This was the first time he was actually allowing himself to focus on the future, to have fun. And what better way than to flex his power? As Naruto was back on his feet, he wiped the blood away from his mouth. It just goes to show how powerful Minato attacks were, because Naruto's body was incredibly durable. I have to give you that. That technique of yours is amazing. Awesome. For you to refine the wind like this, it's amazing. There is no doubt. You're a prodigy, amongst prodigy, Naruto said with a smile. However, if you think this match is over, you're wrong. At first, I thought I might as well not go all out. After all, I didn't know what you were hiding. But now that I know, I don't have to hold back that much. Wait, does he actually think that he stand a chance now? People start to whisper and mutter amongst themselves, wondering if he was going crazy or something. Didn't he see the power that the Hokage has at his disposal? Some of the others, like Kakashi, were locked in though. As Naruto released a breath, Minato watched as a purple aura started to gather, a thin line around his son's body, until the system popped up in front of Naruto. They couldn't see it though. It started to warn him because of his own design that he had put in some time ago. When most people use their chakra for an amount of time, yes, they get tired, exhausted. However, his body was not like most people at all because of the system that he possessed. As Naruto had learned a lot about it over the years, even coming into this battle, the challenge of facing Minato had popped up, which he had accepted, of course. The problem was, Naruto had set limiters on himself as well. Limiters because he knew when he stepped into a certain state, it would start to feast upon his chakra. Yes, especially if he was fighting someone that dangerous. However, over all the years that he had spent, he's never found someone that he had to go more than 50%. And he just used that 50% on Minato. And he failed. So yes, he was pushing past that limit that was set by himself through the system. But now that he was breaking through, it started to consume his chakra hard. Because not only was he activating his buffs that he limit, he was also activating quick speed as well. And all the tweaks and quirks that his body possessed. The place started to rumble and shake from the raw power that was just resonating from him. His hair stood up like Minato. His eyes started to glow blue. Electric strikes started to gather and shoot from the corner of his eyes. His power started to spiral. He simply took a step and the ground started to crack. The system gave him another warning, as he was exceeding levels that he has not exceeded since the time that he tried to see how far he can go. As Naruto clicked on move forward on the system, the moment he did that, everything stopped shaking. Everyone seemed to hold their breaths. It then came. It was like a tsunami swept over Konoha and swept through the land of fire. The Genins were frozen where they were. The Jonins were baffled, knowing that none of them here possessed the strength to face him. Jiraiya couldn't believe it. He really had this much power hidden away. Even Minato floated back. He was shocked as Naruto raised his hands and spoke. "Let's throw hands," he said. In an instant, the violent collision threw up dirt and stone. The barrier that was set to protect the Jonins up there started to reflect. It started to wear. It started to tremble. Both Naruto and Minato disappear and reappear. The sonic booms that they created ripped the ground apart. Minato blasts Naruto with both of his fists. The wind behind it sent Naruto slamming into the barrier. Naruto was behind him and sent him into the earth. Minato bounced across it before he twisted and launched himself up, launching his fists. Upon doing that, he created a violent force that ripped through the sky, dissipating all the clouds above them. As Naruto was gone, Minato was sent sailing from a hit to the back. He stopped himself with pure raw wind. He turned and smacked his fist right in Naruto's face when Naruto appeared in front of him. Naruto slammed his feet in the ground, obliterating it as he braced himself. He grabbed Minato's fist and yanked him before, driving his fist into his guts. The both of them started to rapidly trade blows until they both slammed their fists into each other's face. They were launched to the opposite side. The both of them got back up, flexing their power. The barrier couldn't take it anymore. It broke down. That was when the audience truly felt what was going on. Several people were launched out of their seats by the force alone. Both men vanished, and they started to cause major problems for Konoha. The violent trembling, windows started to crack. Snanny looked towards Jiraiya. The both of them were under the same conclusion. They had to be stopped. That is when they heard a sound, which sounded like Minato Rasengan forming, and another sound on Naruto's side, but they could not see what it was. They were moving so fast. A violent explosion went off. Everyone had to get to safety. The entire arena was blown to smithereens. The walls broke down. The ground fell at least 5 levels. Everything was wiped away. The trees, they were gone. When the smoke cleared away, Minato's hand was trembling. There were several slashes and laceration on his hand. It was bleeding. He had lost his form. As powerful as that form was, it had a drawback: the consumption of chakra that it took. And Minato possessed a vast amount of chakra. So that was an example to give you on how much chakra that form actually took. Minato was puffing rather heavily as he looked around when the smoke cleared and there Naruto stood. Because of the form that he was in, his Rasengan naturally took on a wind manipulation. Yes, Minato had added a chakra nature to the Rasengan, of course. However, Naruto's technique destroyed his Rasengan like it was nothing. He was baffled. Standing there back in his normal form was Naruto. All of the cuts and the marks started to heal as steam started to rise from his wounds. He was also puffing slightly as well. But neither man looked to be completely exhausted. The both of them, despite all of their power fluctuation and power show, they were not trying to actually kill each other, so this match did not end, and you could not tell who came out on top, because the both of them, despite their talk, they still held back. Naruto looked around as he heard someone shouting. It was Navi, calling them an idiot. Minato looked around, the sweat drop as he saw a pissed off Kushina as well. It seems we might have went a bit overboard, Minato said. Yeah, more than just a bit, said Naruto, as he looked at the collision that they caused. But he had to say, that was fun. Time skip. Kushina came up to Naruto. Yes, as Minato was talking with the others, his hand bandaged. She was nervous. Minato had his time, he had his fight. It was different for her. I was wondering. It looked rather strange given the fact that she was his mother. We're having a dinner tomorrow. Given that you just came back, I don't want to do anything big or try to create a big celebration if you don't want. So I thought that we could just have a small get together with yourself, me, Menma, Mito, and Minato. What is the occasion? Naruto said, wondering if it was just a normal dinner. Kushina looked at him confused. It's your birthday. Naruto blinked. My birthday. He just realized that yes, tomorrow, July the 2nd, was his birthday. With everything going on, he forgot how close it was. A thought popped into his head. A dinner, just the two of them, in the past. And as he was thinking about that, he remembered the dream that he had, with her telling him to live his life in happiness. Naruto? Kushina said. Yes. Naruto said, I would love to have a small get together with just us. As his face was calm and happy, a giant weight seemed to lift off Kushina's shoulder. A huge weight. As he was talking to her naturally, Naruto looked at her. And you remember what Mikoto had said? He said that he was going to give her a fresh start. So of course he was not going to try and be all cold and disconnected. This was a fresh start after all. Maybe this was good for him. Keeping that malice and hate was something that was never right. This was a fresh start. It was up to them, not him. Naruto spent the next few hours talking to his siblings, and then talking to Itachi. As him and Itachi was walking, Anko arrived out of nowhere. It was getting rather late. She grabbed his arm and started to drag him along. For the drink that she was going to buy him. For thanking him, of course. As she pulled him along, they made their way towards the bar. When Naruto stepped inside, everyone stopped talking. A whole lot of Jonins were in here. Most of them that was there. Some of them were a bit sticky on the whole thing. Many think that he would be cocky and arrogant because of how strong he was. However, that was so far from the case. Anko dragged him over toward the side, where a booth was located. Kurenai Yui, Hayate, Asuma, Yujiro Uzuki. They were there, along with Anko. They were all there, along with two others. Anko introduced all of them. As Naruto met all of the Jonins, Asuma was the one to break the ice. Man, I have to say, I never thought anyone could go toe-to-toe with the Hokage for more than a minute. Let alone when he's so amped up and going at that full power that he was using. You're something else, Asuma said. Thanks, said Naruto. Kurenai had to admit, this man was incredibly handsome. That was the first thing that popped into her head, seeing him up so close. Not to mention he was so nice and so sweet. None of them were going to make the mistake on asking him about why did he left or anything. That seemed to be a sensitive subject. As Anko started to buy the drinks, she was making good on her promise. Anko seemed to get drunk rather quick. Speaking of drunk, what's that? It was Yujiro that asked him, as Naruto pulled out a vial. This is something I've been working on. Let's just say that it's really hard, extremely, for me to get drunk because of my metabolism, said Naruto, not going into detail about the system. So I've been working on this. I think it should be enough to trick it and allow me to actually get drunk. Naruto has never actually been drunk in his entire life. And that never used to be a problem until recently, seeing that he could not get drunk. But he's been working on something to try and change that. He poured it into the sake that Anko brought. He wouldn't know until he had a few more drink. As Naruto brought it up to his lips. Drink up, Anko said. It's gonna be a whole night festivities, she said with a smile. As Naruto drank his first drink, hoping that it would work and actually make him drunk, something that he never experienced before. Time skip. Naruto groaned. His head was pounding. It seems like his smarts really paid off. He was able to trick the system. Although it did take him a long while to create that. It was hard to create. It did use some of his chakra and several different components. But if this was what being drunk was like, screw that. His head was still pounding. Suddenly, a memory flashed into his mind. Flashback. Uncle leaped into his arms, wrapping her legs around him. As the both of them were making out, Naruto swept every item off the table and rested her on it. As he laid his face down on hers, their mouths and tongue intertwining. Back to the original time, Naruto was rather shocked. What the hell? Another memory flashed through his mind. And another. And another. Naruto realized that he was in the hotel room. However, he lifted up the sheet. He had not even a shred of clothing on. Naruto slowly turned his head as he felt the vibrations. He also heard the snoring, just hearing them. Naruto's eyes went wide. He leaped off the bed, his movement startling her. Anko slowly picked herself up as she glanced towards him. He was fully naked. A smile came to her face. "Hi there, you," she said, before glancing up towards Naruto. "And good morning to you too," she said to him. However, she saw the look on his face. Is something wrong? You have to leave." "Oh, what?" "I said you have to leave." "But now," said Naruto. Uncle was confused. "Alright, calm down," she said. "Let me get my clothes." Naruto started to quickly put on his. Uncle looked towards him. She was confused about this reaction. He seemed mortified. She had no idea what was wrong. As he started to rush her towards the door. "After last night and now you're behaving like this. What the hell is going on?" "You just have to leave," said Naruto. "Fine, I'm leaving," she said. She was now pissed off. It's not like the both of them didn't want what happened last night. The both of them were hammered, the both of them truly enjoyed it. And yet he's acting like this. As Naruto swung, the door opened. Standing there was Kushina, who was just about to knock. She had what seemed to be food, maybe breakfast for him. Kushina paused as she saw Uncle and the state of her clothing. "Good morning, Kushina-san," Uncle said, restraining her anger at the moment as she gave the woman a nod before leaving. Kushina looked towards her son. She didn't know what to say. She had a grown son after all. "Would you mind if I come to the house?" Naruto said. Yeah, sure," she said to him. "I'll be there soon." Before she could say anything, he locked the door. Kushina stood there. At least he was coming. She made her way off. He would eat when he get there. She didn't know what to say about him, and speaking of Uncle, she allowed Uncle to leave before heading out. She was finding things a bit awkward, as she would have said something motherly, but given their new relationship that she was trying to not push so hard, she didn't want to go overboard. As for Naruto, he was lying on the ground. What has he done? Naruto felt like he was betraying the memory of Guren. He felt horrible with himself, disgusted by himself, despite knowing that he did nothing that bad. It was even hard to say the words in his mind. He felt so. Naruto hopped into the shower, trying to wash himself off. The feeling would not go away. He sat down in the shower. Today was his birthday. So much has happened. So much was now gone. His last birthday that he had. It was wonderful. The both of them had a meal together. She cooked for him. It was that night He knew before it, but it was that night that it was cement in that this would be the person that he spent the rest of his life with. Yet she was taken away. He even bought the ring. But she was gone. Now he felt bad for what he said to Uncle though. It wasn't her fault. It was his. It is just hard to have that kind of love for someone and then move on, even after their passing. Yes, even then, as Naruto made his way, he got dressed as he sent one of his shadow out. It took some time, but when he was ready, Naruto used it to clear the distance and teleport. Arriving at his once home, Naruto stepped towards the grave site. Naruto sat down beside it as he leaned his head down and gazed up towards the heavens. I know, if you could see me now, if you are seeing me, you probably want to kick my ass for what I'm doing. I don't know what that dream was, if it was just a figment or something. It's hard to move on. I feel guilty despite knowing that I should not. I feel horrible. As Naruto exhaled once more, he thought about what he said. After killing Orochimaru, Itachi had asked him what he would do after that, and he didn't know. But when he did kill Orochimaru, the pain that he felt, knowing that it would never end, he was going to end it all. The only reason why he's standing here was because of Mito. Maybe he should move on. Maybe that dream was actually real. Maybe she just wanted him to be happy until he finally meets her again in the afterlife. For one thing though, he need to apologize to Uncle for being such an ass. And another, there's no way in hell that he's getting drunk again. He still had a headache, which was unusual given his body and how resilient it was, and how fast it healed. Guess this was karma paying him back for creating that toxin to trick the system. The system must be punishing him. Naruto laughed where he was. He laughed. He used to laugh a lot in the past, but now it was so rare. But it feels good to laugh. So good. Time skip. The village. Calm down, Kurenai said. I can't understand what the hell you're talking about. That jackass, Uncle said. She was complaining to Kurenai. They were there last night. Kurenai saw the flirtation going on between them. She actually thought that might lead to something. A lot of people know that Uncle was not someone that was trying to settle down, have children, become a mother. That was just not her style. It just wasn't. However, this might be a fling that might last for some time, and it might be good for the both of them. But it seems like something really bad happened. There was a knock on the door. Uncle gazed towards it as Kurenai went to open it. Standing there was Naruto. I don't think she wants to see you right now. Please, I just want to talk to her. Uncle swing the door open. What do you want, jackass? I deserve that, said Naruto. Can we talk in private? Why? I want to explain. About what? What happened this morning? She took a breath. Fine. You have 5 minutes. She looked towards Kurenai, who stepped out. So, what is it? Treating me like I was some piece of garbage that you could not even stand. It's not like that. So explain to me then. What is it like? It's me, said Naruto. You? She said, looking at him. Yeah, me. As Naruto motioned if they could sit, she nodded. Many people don't know this. The reason why I killed Orochimaru. I lost someone. Someone that was my everything. I thought that it would be the end game with her. She was everything to me. Nothing else was more important. Because of Orochimaru, she's dead. She's gone. So I spend my time torturing him. I placed something in his mind that made him suffer until he was begging for death. And when the time came, I ripped him apart. I destroyed him. And yet, I felt nothing. It didn't change anything. I was so broken inside. It didn't seem like life was worth living. But my sister brought me back. She gave me hope to return. You're a wonderful person, Uncle. But it's really not you. Much people don't know about this. But I trust you, said Naruto. I don't know why, I just do. Maybe it's your attitude. You kind of remind me of her, Naruto said with a smile. So it's not you. You're a wonderful person. I am sorry for how I acted this morning. It's alright, Uncle said. I never knew. It's hard to lose people. It's hard overall. So it's alright, she said. I just thought that you saw me as... What? Said Naruto. Well, Orochimaru. He screwed with the both of us, it seems. That mark that you removed. When I came back, when people knew I was alive, some were happy. However, when they know that I was marked by him, I was like a stain. Many people has treated me that way, the way you treated me this morning. And I guess it just brought back some bad memories. And even though that mark is gone, I still feel like he's a part of me, despite knowing that he's not. So it just brought back so many bad memories. So yeah, she said. But I guess the both of us was just screwed over by him. So we can celebrate in his death, right? She said with a smile. As Naruto smiled back at her. So we good, said Naruto. Yeah, of course, she said. And besides, you're new here. And we both get along great. So we can be good friends. Besides, I'm not the type to look for a long-lasting relationship. Just not my thing. But what about the sex? It was good though, she said. Really? Said Naruto. Come on, just spill it, she said. I was good, wasn't I? From what I can remember, you were awesome, said Naruto. As Uncle looked rather proud of herself. And don't worry, you were not that bad yourself. Actually, she said, speaking to herself, you were great. Not to mention that was a long, hard package to take. So that was a big boost. As Naruto looked at her, what? We're friends now. We can joke about this stuff. And if we're friends, you gotta know my personality and attitude. I guess you're right, said Naruto. Well, I gotta get going. So what's the agenda for today, she said. Well, I'm actually having a family dinner. It's my birthday. Really? Huh. Well, think of my present last night as a birthday gift for you. Yeah, don't mention it, said Naruto, as he waved goodbye. Kurenai came back inside. So, what happened? The sex was good, Uncle said. Kurenai gave her a look. Come on now. You know I'm not talking about that. Oh, you mean about him? Let me tell you, it was... You know I'm not asking about that. So cut it. Kurenai said, turning her head away. Come on now. It's not like me telling you this is going to affect your thing with Asuma. Oh. Maybe he doesn't match up towards my little... Well, I can't say little. My big friend now. But don't worry. It's not like you're gonna have him, so it's not gonna be different. Uncle! Kurenai screamed. Come on, girl. You know I'm just joking with you. But yeah. We're good. I'm not gonna tell you what he told me though. I don't think that he want me just to spill it around. But he's a really good guy. It's just a misunderstanding. Oh, so everything's okay? Because I know how you get when you're pissed off. Don't worry, we're fine. We're even friends now. Yeah, he's one of my friends now. He doesn't have much. Given that he's now here, after so long, so... Yeah, wait. Did he tell you why he left in the first place? No, we didn't talk about that. And I don't think it's a subject that he ever wanted to talk about. I guess we should just leave some things alone. Exactly, Nai-chan. Now let me draw you a picture. A picture, said Kurnai. Of what? Anko turned with a smile, causing Kurnai to scream out her name in embarrassment. Time skip. Naruto returned to the house. The moment he came inside, both Menma and Mito said happy birthday. They had tried their best to hold it back yesterday, so they could do it on this day. Minato was home. Yes. Kushina had created a fantastic feast. Naruto had apologized, saying that he would be running late. He had some problems to deal with. As he went in the kitchen, Kushina was in there. About this morning. Oh, it's okay, she said. You're a grown man, she said. It's not my place to intrude. It's alright, said Naruto. It's just last night we got to drinking and... Well, things went out of control. I just wanted you to know, rather than acting rather awkward about it. Oh, she said, as long as the two of you were safe. Yeah, we were, said Naruto, as he started to walk. Oh, thanks. For what? For this, said Naruto, as he gazed up towards his father who was sitting down, along with his siblings. It's the least I can do, she said to him. Well then, come on, said Naruto. Let's have this family dinner. Kushina's eyes widened in shock. He said family. That brought tears to her eyes. He said family. As she made her way. Alright. Who's hungry, she said with a smile. Time skip. Kushina was happy about the progress that was made. Granted, Naruto was still staying in the hotel, but good progress had been made. And she came by on more than one occasions now to give him something to eat. Food that she had prepared, and he accepted. Just that alone was making her immensely happy. Uncle brought Naruto into the circle of friends. Yuja was pretty cool, calm, collected, but she was not there a lot. She had other duties. Kurenai was rather protective, but she realized that Naruto did not seek anything harmful for either of her friends. Asuma was cool with Naruto. Kakashi was close to the family, so Naruto had more than one occasions to talk to him. Guy. No, that guy was a piece of work. Hayate was calm and collected as well. A lot of them were. As he started to build a deeper friendship with people within the village. Him and Itachi were still close best friends though. As Naruto was given the rank of Jonin, all of them were impressed by his mind, strategy, his fighting style, everything. Naruto even sat down with his father, who was curious about the shadow army that he possessed. Minato was truly shocked by Naruto's skills. No one else but his family knew about this. Naruto also taken to train his siblings as well. They came to find out that he was a rather strict teacher. However, in this small amount of time, they've shown growth. The both of them had a great, immense potential. As Naruto knew about Mito contained the Nine Tails, he believed that it was something that should be able to help her. Yes, she didn't have half or piece. She had the whole Nine Tails with her. Hiruzen Sarutobi had sacrificed his life with the intention of sealing the Nine Tails The Death Reaper seal was one of the most powerful seal known to man. Just like Kushina, who had the beast residing inside of her. And because of the Senju lineage that she now possessed because of her father, her body was strong to withstand the force of the Nine Tails and keep it at bay. Menma Senju lineage though came out in a wood style, an incredible trait. And now that Tsunade was back, Tsunade with several of the scrolls that she had left with that belonged to her family, Menma had his work cut out for him. As Naruto started to take missions for the village, it was cemented around about him joining back Konoha, about him being Minato's son. Yes, that news spread all around the elemental nation. One person was not liking that though. Well, many didn't like it, but one in particular, he was catastrophically pissed. Kabuto Yakuji. Kabuto was residing in a chair. His arm was looking grotesque and monstrous. Kabuto started to experiment on himself, keeping the village in line, reigning supreme over the Sound 4. Kabuto knew that he was going to have to be stronger. That is what he was doing. A lot has changed under his command, and he intended to see through. He intended to prove to be a great leader. For his entire life he had no identity, but finally he was getting one. Finally he was making his own identity, and that brought a smile to his face. There was another issue though. The organization known as the Akatsuki. At the moment at the village, Jiraiya was back. Naruto had been waiting for him because Jiraiya was there, so he ought to know about what is going on. And Jiraiya did know. Minato had a small gist. Naruto informed them that he was approached by the group. They wanted to take him in, perhaps recruit him, but he was able to take on the two S-rank criminals and force him to flee. The Mad Bomber and Sasori. This was two powerful names. Yes, Naruto was immensely powerful to take them on and put them out. However, that begs the question, who exactly was leading this group? Naruto kept information away from them. He did not say anything about Reina. He did not say one thing about her. Reina was complicated for Naruto. Reina had been there for him. Reina was a good person. She did not deserve death. She's had everything taken away from her, just like he had everything taken away from him as well. She need to find some sort of happiness. He need to find a way to contact her once again. She had the item with her, but she had to be the one that used it. As for Mito, they had to increase her training. The Akatsuki was coming after TLBCs. Naruto, he knew that part. However, he did not really care much about it because he would slaughter every single one of them. Reina warned him the last time. He doubted that she would come after his sister without saying something to him. But they failed, so perhaps the leader would make a different move. But that was put on the back burner. As Mito was being trained at the moment, security was being tightened. What Minato wanted to talk to Naruto about was, "Kiri," said Naruto. "The last I heard, there was a war taking place over there." "Yes, and I want you to join that war." "What?" Naruto said to him. "The leader of the rebellion forces. She came to me a few days prior. Her name is Mei Terumi. I want to send you and a few others over there to lend a helping hand to aid her and her people. This will prove beneficial and great for the unification of Kira and Konoha together." As Naruto was thinking about that, that was one step closer into them healing this world, because the Sand was currently fully supportive of the Hidden Leaf right now. As Naruto nodded to the man. Time skip. Naruto was gazing up towards the gigantic beast. It released a powerful roar that shook the surrounding area. Things went bad so fast. As Naruto was holding both of his broken daggers in his hand, he released them as they dissolved into light. Naruto gazed up towards a massive three tails. The thing jumped on its side and spun towards him, ripping the earth apart. How did things went this bad so quickly? Well, it was simple. Naruto, Kakashi, and Itachi and Shizune was sent to Kiri. They really need a medical expert over there. Tsunade was busy training her group and Shizune was the second best. Minato had sent 3 powerful forces to show that they were invested. Mei Terumi was happy to see them all, and it was quite a good sight to see. 3 handsome men, all of them vastly powerful in their own right. The group quickly cemented in with the other forces. All of the people here Naruto noticed they were just so exhausted. They wanted to put this to an end once and for all. Shizune came in and helped the wounded, some that they could not help with their limited expertise on medical ninjutsu. So yes, she was a miracle worker. Many was glad, many was grateful. Even with the time that they were spending there, a few of the guys developed a crush on her. She was like a healing angel, but she turned them down because there was something going on between her and someone in the Hidden Leaf. She didn't say anything about it though. Mei was glad for their help. She needed them to use their forces to make a combined attack to strike and end this once and for all. Yagra has been laying low, but she received word from a few spies that she had inside of the main village about his move. Yes, he was going to make a move because Yagra has been starving them out, hoping that he could just outlast them, because they would run out eventually and they would weaken and he would take over and destroy them. However, he didn't count on them having people that was so close to him, people that just wanted this to be over, people that hated his leadership and hated his regime. Mei brought the powerhouse force to slap down him and his forces that day. It was a perfect, cloudy day. Mist was all over the area. The group was moving silently. Yagra did not go anywhere without his 10 guards. His 10 powerful guards that stood by his side, ready to be deployed at a moment notice. All of them were elite Jonin level, so they were not a soft, weak bunch just to run over. However, Mei had no choice. This was not good, but she had no choice. They had to do this now or risk missing their opportunity. The sensor on the group immediately sensed them in close proximity. Itachi cast a genjutsu over the sensor. The moment their gaze locked, as the sensor gazed up towards where Itachi was located, immediately the group descended. Chaos broke out immediately as Naruto saw Yagra. Naruto rushed towards the head target using his quick flash. Yagra was sent across as Naruto knocked him away rather violently, having the man bounce across the ground. Kakashi tore through them, Chidori covering his hand. These were the ones that did not see the benefit of the bloodline users. Many of them were angry by the bloodline users because some of the bloodline users in the past had pushed this superiority complex, but those guys were long dead now. However, the name was still connected to such memories, so the hate was strong with these ones. As Mei and her forces, Itachi and Kakashi, rained down upon them, they were outnumbered. Despite their elite status, despite them being vastly powerful than a lot of Mei forces, they were outnumbered. Yagra, on the other hand, saw this as an opportunity. He decided just to wipe the slate clean. He decided just to eviscerate them all where they stood. So the man did not hesitate. Mei felt the force as she jumped away. A violent force of chakra erupted in the distance. Where Naruto had went off with Yagra, Itachi's Sharingan gazed over towards the area. This was bad. The gigantic, three-tailed turtle stood over Naruto tall. So yes, that is how he ended up in this bad situation. As the thing came rolling to crush him, as Naruto watched the massive beast tear towards him, he was the only one here to fend off against it. As Naruto proceeded to open the system and reach inside, despite the danger looming to crush him like a small pebble, as he started to pull out his weapon, his blue eyes glistening with power. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was infected by an OP virus bloodline, guys, and enjoy that. So without further ado or wasting more time, what do you say we jump right? What am I saying? Let's get the hell out of here. See you guys soon. Peace.